This is 6-time IFBB Bikini Pro Champion Brina Martinez, and I take ZMA5 to make sure that I get the zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6 needed to keep my immune system healthy and snack strong.
Jake Paul in his third boxing match, taking on former MMA champ Ben Askren, and can't wait to invite them out here on the stage. With no further ado, Jake and Ben, come on up. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you guys.
Hi Ben. How you doing? Well, you guys have set the table for this pretty well with that video and with what you've been doing beforehand. And Jake, I'll start with you. You've kind of indicated that at the end of the day, your boxing skills you feel are better, and that ultimately that's the difference.
No, 100%. I mean, this guy's striking is that of a grandma. Quite literally, if I put a grandma in against Jorge Masvidal, she would have lasted longer than this guy. You know, he's a good athlete, they say, but April 17th, he's gonna get exposed. You know, we saw Steve Cunningham earlier, going up against Frank Mir, and it's a boxer versus an MMA guy. I love Frank Mir, but at the end of the day, Steve's gonna take care of business, and then later on in the night, same thing's gonna happen. This is boxing versus MMA, and you're gonna see the difference. You're gonna see the difference of a wannabe fighter, you know, a guy who choked in the Olympics, a guy who choked in the UFC, and now a guy who's gonna choke against Jake Paul. I'm gonna end this guy's career as an embarrassment. Masvidal did it once, I'm about to do it again.
I heard of Jake Paul prior to accepting this fight, but I couldn't have told you a lot about him or his brother. I knew, you know, he kind of came up in his brother's shadow. He was trying to follow his brother's footsteps. You know, his brother's a lot more talented and larger following. Those type of things.
You literally went on your Instagram and asked people for roasts. You asked people for roasts on your Instagram, and that was the top comment, was say that his brother is better than him.
Is he?
That's like calling Kylie Jenner Kendall Jenner. Like,
I don't know anything about them.
Yeah,
anyway, so
that doesn't matter. Still a compliment. I would love to be Logan. Logan's a great kid. Both stars, both taking over the world at a young age.
Okay, so when Logan's little brother called me out, you know, I thought about it.
You actually called me out. Let's get the facts straight. You called me out the week of the Nate Robinson fight. So continue.
Okay, so when Logan's little brother called me out the week of the Nate Robinson fight, I said sure. More than happy to, right? I like to fight. I've been fighting for a long time. Never boxing, but I've done wrestling, mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu. And you know, I thought, well, from his angle, what's he doing? And you know, I asked some of my kids at my academy, what's this guy all about? And they said he's a bully, he's a dick. And so I think from his angle, it's like, he's thinking, who's the easiest guy that I can pick that'll give some validity to my name? It's like, I'm gonna pick the guy who just had a surgery, who's
If I wanted to pick the easiest guy, I would have picked Dylan Dennis.
Well, we don't.
Dylan was too scared to sign the contract. You actually had the balls to sign the contract. So if I wanted the easiest guy, I would have picked Dylan.
Jake, you did pick Dylan. We know that. I've already went over that. You picked Dylan. I know he wouldn't do it.
But you just said I picked you.
Because Dylan wouldn't say yes, dum-dum.
You choking on your words, Bubba?
You picked
choking
Dylan.
on your words, Bubba?
You picked Dylan. Dylan wouldn't sign the contract. Therefore, you can't fight Dylan, so you have to pick the next person. Okay?
But you said I picked you first. You said if I wanted the easiest person, it would have been Dylan. But you're saying I picked you as the easiest person.
Because Dylan wouldn't sign a contract. I'm trying to get you to stop talking. Okay. So anyways, like, this is typical bully behavior, but obviously sometimes
this is the fucking fight game. This is the fucking fight game. You pussy ass bitch. This is the fucking fight game. Yeah, I'll bully you around just like I'm gonna bully you in the ring. Shut the fuck up. You sound like a middle schooler. Oh, he's bullying me. Shut the fuck up.
I was talking to your mentality. You're not gonna bully me. That's not gonna happen. And you know, like, Jake, if you and I ran into each other in the back alley in Las Vegas, and I wanted
do
to
it right now. Do it right now then. We're running into each other right now.
Someone's gonna stop you. You got like 27 people.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay.
And here's what actually happened is actually after my Nate Robinson fight, there was probably 70 people calling me out, wanting to fight me. And there was probably 6 people that made sense to fight. Bisping, McGregor, Diaz, Dennis, Askren, some YouTubers who are popular. But I wanted to fight a real MMA fighter. When it came to signing the contract, a lot of them didn't want to do it. And by the way, this is me coming to them with the biggest payday of their lives. This is Ben's biggest payday of his life. He's publicly said that. And so when it came down to signing the contract, he was actually down. So that's how it happened. And this fight makes sense. And you will embarrass the sport of MMA. You are representing the UFC. This is personal. You know, the whole MMA community.
You're trying to make me represent the sport of
No,
MMA.
you are representing the sport. Dana White is betting money on you. He's trying to get trainers to actually help you train so that you can beat me. So you are representing the sport of MMA. You are an MMA fighter. Just like I'm representing the sport of boxing because I'm a boxer. Just like I'm representing celebrities and YouTubers because I'm a celebrity and a YouTuber. So I'm representing all of those things. So you are representing them. And you will see boxing conquer. You know, I don't have to do anything to get the attention of these guys. They have to get the attention of me at this point. They're talking about me more than I'm talking about them. He's one of the first fighters on the list. Yeah, he's the first MMA fighter that will be taken down. I think this will make the Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor fight that will happen one day more intriguing, of course. But there's Diaz after this. There's tons of people calling me out, celebrities still, athletes. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this fight will give me a lot of credibility. Ben's 19-2, has less losses than McGregor, two-time NCAA Division I champ, Olympic wrestler. So yeah, he's a real fighter, and that's why I wanted to do this fight, is to show the world this real fighter's getting in with Jake Paul and he's gonna get KO'd in 2 rounds.
I mean, 2021 seems like a tremendous year to beat up the whole Paul family.
The fighter that I am now would knock out the fighter in the Nate Robinson fight. That is Jake Paul. So I'm completely different. And people will see I really haven't even gotten to show my boxing ability in my last 2 fights because they've both been like 4 minutes total, or like 7 minutes total. So, I'm actually excited to see if Ben's gonna give me a little bit of a test, a little bit of a challenge, because then people will see, oh shit, this kid can do that. Oh, he has this in his arsenal. Oh, he's been working on that. I haven't even shown the world what I can do. That's why this is fun, because I have the ace up my sleeve, and when you have the ace up your sleeve, and
hey, I was wondering, your cheerleaders that you brought to my room, do you pay them as coaches or groupies, or do you just give them sloppy seconds and social media shout-outs?
Yeah, I give them a ton of dry over-the-pants hand jobs. Maybe say your joke again, and we can all remember to laugh. Say it one more time, we can just all laugh afterwards, just so you feel good about yourself. Say it one more time for us. No?
You have another question?
Look at the cock on this guy. Look, we all have a lot to prove to the world, and I'm 24 years old. This is the biggest stage of my life. The last event was the 8th biggest pay-per-view event in history. This one's gonna be even bigger. Justin Bieber, Snoop Dogg, Doja Cat. Are you kidding me? And you think for one moment I'm gonna sit there and fumble this? You think for one moment I'm not gonna work my bloody balls off to beat this bum? This Walmart-looking head-ass Napoleon Dynamite motherfucker? No. You gotta be kidding me. So, yeah, I'm excited for this, and I have a chip on my shoulder, and I'm gonna prove to the world April 17th. TrillerFightClub.com. Buy it now. But I'm gonna prove to the world that Jake Paul's the real deal, and that's why I called out Conor McGregor initially. This is the road to McGregor at the end of the day.
It's hard to say. His opponents were so bad that he could have pretty much done anything he wanted to and won the fight. So yeah, I think TBD.
Great question. Definitely a boxing lifer. I'm addicted to this sport, and I will become the biggest prize fighter in boxing. Simple as that. And yeah, thank you for the compliment. Have a ton of power. I didn't really even get to utilize it against Nate. He went down, and I only landed 8 punches, and he was knocked down 3 times. Hey, it's your dad calling in.
Stuff that's made it successful.
It's your dad calling in. Look.
You still alive?
He's still alive, bro. I'm about to take him out. Hey, he's still alive. Don't worry, I'm gonna finish him off. Yeah, don't worry.
Tell him I like them flip flops, man.
He said he likes your flip flops. That's my guy Masvidal, maker of Ben Askren. Jake Paul will be the finisher of Ben Askren. Does that bother you, by the way, that you got knocked out in 5 seconds?
Nah, it happens.
Does it bother you?
Not really.
It doesn't really happen, by the way. That's only happened once.
Got a record.
You literally have the record, yeah.
I literally have the record,
You
yeah.
hold the record.
The record.
Yeah. 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It doesn't like haunt you at all that like you're probably the most embarrassing fighter in UFC history.
Jake, I know you have low self-esteem, but you don't need to project it onto me.
So this clip doesn't bother you?
I've only seen it like a million times. Doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you?
No.
Are you sure?
Sure.
We'll do the same thing to you.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to throw knees in boxing, Jake.
Well, I'm gonna knock you out. It's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said earlier, I knew of Jake and Logan when I took the fight, but I didn't know like a whole lot about Logan or his little brother. And you know, one of the things that I can't believe is in MMA, I was kind of the heel. I was kind of not liked that much. But you know, Jake said in the pre-fight thing that it was 50 people wanted to win, 50 people wanted to lose, and I was shocked because it's got to be like 90-10. Pretty amazing how many people don't like you. I actually kind of find it pretty impressive, your ability to be disliked. That was a compliment.
At this point, bigger than the JJ fight, is there any interest in still fighting KSI, or have you outgrown him and you're just over that?
Yeah, definitely outgrown him. There's interest. I think that's a fight that everyone wants to see, but at this point, it just wouldn't even be close. And I think, you know, once he sees what I do to Ben, yeah, he's not gonna want to fight. And yeah, like even his coaches say it. They're like, hey, we're not letting KSI fight this kid right now. So his coaches know. His coaches know what will happen. KSI's ducking. And at the end of the day, it's like there's a lot bigger fights out there than JJ. So
like they have somehow convinced their fans that they're real fighters. It's tremendous. It's, you know, it takes an act, it takes a show. He's done that. He says, pulling the fire truck, eating rice and chicken and shit like that. Like, I'm in this for life. That's tremendous. Appreciate that, Jake.
Suck a dick. You know, there's room for everyone to eat. Gary Vee once said, you know, you can build your skyscraper in New York as high as you want without tumbling over someone else's skyscraper. So why are people mad that I'm successful? You know, build up your own skyscraper, and there's room for everyone to eat in this sport, trust me.
I think it was a mass, not a tissue, but yeah, I would say, you know, like a 1 to 1.1, somewhere in there. You know, again, if Jake and I met in LA, I would just do a homicide if I wanted to, no big deal. I was most impressed by the fact that Jake, as a 24-year-old, is able to convince a whole team of grown men to do a cheer with him. That was tremendous.
It's called a team, a family, something that you don't have. Seems like you don't have really friends, and you know, we're all in this together, and this means a lot to us. You know, this means a lot to everyone. This is a part of history. Everyone on my team is a part of history. And we're a brotherhood. And quite literally, a bunch of 20-year-olds taking over the world. You sound stupid.
Wait, no, that's not right. Ben, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Jake, you're on this side. See, I knew where My fault. I'm sorry, guys.
Don't fucking touch me, I'll beat the fuck out of you. Hey, Jay! Go real face to face. What's up, bro? Go real face to face, come on. Come on. Get out here, bro. We're not doing this place to face. Come on, bro. Like a man, come on, bro. Let's go! Who? Getting nervous, that's what?
Showtime, baby. 22 days away.
The champ is here, baby. The champ is here, baby.
22
The
days
champ
away.
is here, baby.
Bro, you've been very 36.
Bitch.
Hey.
Don't fucking touch me, bitch. Get the fuck back here. Come on.
That's enough. Come on.
Big ass belly. Big ass belly.
22 days, baby. Let's go. Come on. You got it. 22 days. No problem.
Got hella flubber.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The face-off. Tell me what happened there.
Oh, he just kind of tried coming back at me, and I kind of, you know, did it get out of my face, and I guess he didn't appreciate that very much.
I don't know, people are looking from the outside in, they perceive that as like you showed your You're done. It's over. Did you get that?
I mean, he knows that, right? I mean, we're doing a boxing match, but he knows. Like I said, if I want to do a homicide, do a homicide, right? I'd take it down and rub my balls on his face if I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a fight, right? It's not an event for me. If I was a fan or something, I might feel differently. But listen, I'm getting into a boxing ring, as funny as that sounds, and fighting on Saturday night. So I'm not kind of getting into all the hoopla and stuff. But I know the people who are. I have 10 guest passes, and they are all very excited for Justin Bieber and some of the other people.
Do you actually dislike Jake Paul?
I would say I'm more indifferent to Jake. I think there's a part of me that still thinks what he's doing is kind of an act or, a show he puts on. I'd say if who he acts like is his real person, then yeah, he's probably kind of a shit person. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's just an act.
And if you were to win,
even if he was a shit person, I guess I would still be pretty indifferent to that. I mean, there's a lot of shit people in the world. No, I haven't. I actually think, we should probably have our contracts reversed. I'm sure Jake's getting some kind of pay-per-view bonus, and I'm carrying the fucking promotion of this fight. Jake ain't promoting shit. You go look at the Fight Hub TV. Jake's got 50,000 views, and I got 1.2 million. Triller, maybe they can send me a $2 million bonus afterwards. Because the promotion of this fight is squarely on my shoulders. Jake's not doing his job. I don't really intend to box after Saturday night, but no, it's not a who question. It's a how much question. Is Triller going to recognize that I'm going to sell him 1 million pay-per-views and cut me, a Conor McGregor type check for the next one? Because if they do, then I would consider doing it again. And if they don't, I love coaching wrestling and podcasting. That's kind of my passion in life. I'll probably just go and do that.
Well, a Conor McGregor like check would include Conor McGregor, right?
I can't imagine the UFC. Conor's a significantly better boxer than myself, and obviously Jake Paul as well. I would love to fight Conor McGregor in mixed martial arts, but again, I'm going to be retired, and I just don't really see all that happening. I'm just saying, you asked me how I would do this again, and how I would do this again is if they give me a very large amount of money. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think most fans are more invested in the result of this bout than I am. I mean, for me, I think actually the biggest negative comes from winning, because if I beat Jake Paul's ass, I'm going to be like world famous, and I ain't really trying to be world famous. Like I said, I'm trying to coach wrestling and podcast, and that's really it. So the result of the bout on Saturday night, obviously I'd like to win, but I don't really think it changes my life a whole lot either way. I'm as healthy as I have been for a while, yes, but obviously I'm not. I can't stand it when so I'm 36. Say athletes in their late 30s say this is the best I've ever been. I'm like, bullshit. Like, give me 24-year-old myself back again. I'd love to have that. But I am injury free and I feel great, so I'm ready to fight on Saturday night. No, I don't want to be famous. My audience is growing like crazy, and the numbers are, like you said, Food Truck Diaries. I think someone showed me it's the second most watched Food Truck Diaries ever. I'm already really high up on the Logan Paul podcast for being, one of the most watched ever, and it's been 1 week. You know what I think it all points to, and I don't want to be famous, but it points to the fact that there's so many not authentic people in the world, and when someone's just real with them, when someone just really says how he feels from the bottom of his heart, people appreciate that. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing that's coming through is, people thought maybe it was bravado or something. No, I'm just being me. And I've been me for the last 20 years. And we don't see a lot of real people in the world, and the authenticity people appreciate.
Are you playing everyone with the sparring footage going into this so that you could stun everyone at the open workouts yesterday? Because that's what I'm reading on social media. People are amazed at how good you looked yesterday.
Yeah. No, I actually am not, right? But, and again, this goes to the authentic point. When I signed the Jake Paul fight, I was sitting on the fucking couch for 15 months. But when I got done with the UFC in October of 2019, I remember I tried to go do some private lessons, and it was just like literally too painful, and I couldn't do it. So I had been doing some yoga and some bicycle, and then after my surgery, I did nothing. And so literally I started putting out footage of me hitting nothing for 15 months, being not working out for 15 months. And it was not pretty. And I just knew, I had faith in myself that if I put my mind to it for 11 weeks, it's going to get a lot better. And it got a lot better. And then you combine that with the fact that I've never actually focused on boxing, and I'm a quick learner, and I tend to be good at those type of things when I put my mind to it. Obviously for what you're looking at, you got a lot better product in week 11 than you did in week 1. So I actually think betting on this fight is very risky, which, hey, some people love risk. And I think a lot of people just want to say, I bet on this fight because they want to have an opinion one way or the other. But compared to, like, for me, just as a gambler, the fights that I want to bet on are the ones where I'm like, dude, I've seen these dudes fight 20 times. I know exactly what they're going to do. I understand both their strengths and both their weaknesses, and I understand how they fit together, right? When I look at MMA fights that I don't actually gamble that much anymore. I used to gamble quite a bit, and I would win quite a bit. But this one, there's so many unknowns. There's literally so many unknowns. So if you're gambling, you just love to gamble, which, hey, gambling makes everything more fun. So why not? I cannot figure out, I always try to think of what is someone's angle on this. I can't figure out what his angle is. I don't know. If he wants to wrestle, we can wrestle. I mean, I can go wrestle really, really high level people still and be very, very competitive, if not beat them. The notion that I couldn't pin a bad high school, let's just put it, he wasn't even good at high school wrestling. The notion that I couldn't pin him in 20 seconds is hilarious. So I don't really know. I don't really know what he's angling at there. And then, but the one thing it does makes me think, which I've kind of always thought, and this I guess would be further proof that he realizes he doesn't have a future in boxing, because if your goal was to be a great boxer, you're not going to take a couple months off to wrestle somebody. I just think back to my time, and I'm a world-class athlete, and he's Jake Paul. I remember my time in 2010, I tried to both wrestle and do mixed martial arts as in the Bellator tournament. And it sucked. And I was not optimal in either one because I was splitting my time. So I don't understand the angle there. You guys saw yesterday, right? I mean, read the comments on that video. There's millions of views. Go read the comments. Yeah, people saw it. And that was my whole premise is I understand that I suck at this, but I understand I'm a world-class athlete, and despite the fact that I don't look like it, right? Sometimes can't judge a book by the cover, and that I'm a world-class learner. I understand how to learn things really well. And give me 11 weeks at trying this, and I'm going to be way better. And that's what you guys saw yesterday. Frankly, it's been a bloodbath. If we're talking trash talk, it's not even a 10-8. It's more like a 10-7 or I don't think we've seen a 10-6 in mixed martial arts, but something like that. And it's just, this guy has, he only picks the lowest hanging fruit because his audience average age is 13 and a half. And, like the lowest hanging fruit just isn't going to work against me. You're going to have to come with something creative or something intelligent. He just has lacked the ability to do so.
Sounds like it might be Eddie Alvarez who'll be the next MMA star jumping over to box somebody for Triller. I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on Eddie possibly getting in there to box Oscar De La Hoya in June?
Well, I love Eddie because he's a Bitcoiner. And I felt bad about his last fight because I didn't agree with the referee's call at all. But I actually heard it's going to be Tyron Woodley. That's what I heard.
I mean, what advice do you have for him? Obviously, you guys have been really close. What is your advice for him?
Tyron's a much better boxer than myself. I don't got any advice for him. You don't try to give advice to someone that you're worse than. I'm kind of, I think I'm borderline autistic actually, and I have very specified interests, and I can't stand talking to people about things that don't really matter to me. And I know it's really bad. My wife gets upset with me about it, and she probably should, right? It's fair. And so when people want to come up and talk to me about stuff, it's just like, I don't want to talk. I want to think about what I want to think about, or I want to go coach wrestling. I want to do what I want to do. And I don't want to talk to strangers. I know I sound like a total asshole when I say that, but I'm telling you my feelings. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to go to the restaurant and sit down and eat and not have anyone come take a picture and listen. So, I know I sound like an asshole, but I'm telling you my feelings, and that's how it is. Okay, good. Listen, I fully intend to box on Saturday night, but Jake Paul is telling lies when he says my purse will be deducted for me doing a non-boxing move. That's just not true. He made it up. And I would just appreciate all you guys write that he's telling lies. Peace. Maybe I'll throw an elbow. You never know.
Thank you, Ben. We appreciate it.
You don't like fighting your friends, but is there still a potential fight between you and Logan Paul? I know you teased that a couple of times.
It depends what day you ask us, right? I think a lot of people want to see that. I think it would be massive, but at the end of the day, our parents don't want us to do it. And I don't know if I would even want to do it. Sometimes we're mad at each other and we want to punch each other. And other times, like right now, we're perfectly getting along and supporting each other and everything. So the world may never see Jake Paul versus Logan Paul, but hey, you never know. Yeah, for sure. I use it all as gasoline in the gas tank to work harder every single day. And I know that going into this fight. And I know that for the past 3 fights I've had is everyone wants to see Jake Paul lose. And that's why I work so hard every single day and surround myself with the best team and take this so seriously because this fight means everything. You know, losing is not an option, quite literally. It just isn't an option in my head, and it's not it's not going to happen. I'm excited for Dana White to lose $1 million, but other than that, you know, I'm going to prove millions and millions and millions and millions of people wrong. And they have, like you said, motivated me to become the best version of myself over the past couple of years. I see myself as an elite fighter right now, a young prospect with a lot of motivation, a lot of hunger. And I think people see me as a shitty amateur. So there's a sort of a big difference, and there's a big gap in between where I'm actually at and what the general audience will think. But I'm excited again to show my ability on Saturday against Ben, who is a world-class fighter. I think it'll be massive. You know, Ben's not used to fighting at this weight. And that's another thing that people aren't even talking about. They talk about his cardio being so good, but he's lugging around an extra 25 pounds coming out of retirement. I'm ready to go into deep waters. He's used to fighting guys his same height. Masvidal, you know, I've been training with Masvidal a bit, and it's like I'm towering over Masvidal. That's the type of guys that Ben is used to fighting. And people always say when they meet me, they're like, damn, you're big. You're bigger than I thought, all the time. And so that'll play a huge factor. And he won't be able to get close to me. He won't be able to do all the things that he's planning on doing. He's talking about coming in with defense and pressure. That pressure and him coming forward is going to get him knocked out. Honestly, haven't. I think, you know, my team helps me reflect on sort of where I've gotten to and how far I've come. But I've just been going nonstop and haven't really had a chance to look back and be like, wow, that's crazy, or this is crazy. I think it's starting to set in a little bit. But it is pretty absurd. I'm in my third pro fight, fighting 8 rounds, headlining, you know, one of the biggest pay-per-views that could happen this decade. You know, if you look at Floyd Mayweather, his third fight was 6 rounds. He got paid $7,000, and I don't think anyone in this room probably watched it. Well, it doesn't matter to me, but also I think people are going to make tons of excuses for him afterwards, which is great. You know, just like, again, I bring up Floyd, but Floyd's 50-0, and people still will debate why he shouldn't be 50-0, and the judges and and he shouldn't have won this fight and he shouldn't have won that fight and he picked the easy fight here. So people are always going to have excuses. It's part of this game. But again, that's why they're going to tune into the next pay-per-view after I watch Ben to see me lose or try to see me lose. So it doesn't really matter to me at all. And yes, Ben is the first professional fighter I've faced in a real fight, but I've sparred against 250 guys in the gym who are a lot better than Ben. I want to continue to challenge myself with my opponents and continue to build up my level of competition and to make history with historic events and break pay-per-view records and fight big names and just have fun, man. Like this is such a fun sport. This is such a fun time, and these events are so cool, and I want to bring more eyeballs just in general. I think we both are on a road to each other. he wants another boxing fight. He wants to fight Manny Pacquiao. He would get toasted. He just keeps on taking L's. So I think him fighting me would not only be his money fight, but it would technically be the easiest challenge, right? I think fighting Jake Paul would probably be easier than fighting Manny Pacquiao, and it would be just as big. And I think we're a lot closer to a Jake Paul Conor McGregor fight than anyone thinks. I think it could happen in the next 24 months. So this guy has 21 fights, right? And all of a sudden, this is the biggest payday of his career, and there's a reason for that. Ben Askren had his dick in his hand in Wisconsin, not doing shit. I brought him out of retirement, revived his career, and so I think it's hilarious that he thinks that. He's under these bright lights in front of all of you because of me. I could have picked anybody to be in Ben Askren's position, and everyone that I fight becomes a global superstar for 15 minutes. Then I knock them out and no one ever talks about them again. Yeah, it was good. Like I said, these guys are all better than Ben. I think he was doing some interviews after the sparring session and was like, it was good and he was better than I expected, and he's fast, and I landed some good shots. No, you didn't. You got your ass beat, my friend. And all respect to you. I know we're not supposed to talk about sparring as boxers, but if you're gonna go out there and say, it was an even sparring match, when we watch back the tape, it's not even close. But of course, he's gonna say that it was decent and all this stuff, and protect himself. Obviously, that footage probably will never come out, and it's he said, she said. But I'm getting better. I'm getting the better of a lot of these MMA guys. And it's funny to just see what they say after the sparring sessions. Yes and no. It's a dangerous sport. And that's why when people question my dedication to it, it's like I'm showing up every single day. I'm putting my mental health on the line. My brain is on the line. I like you said, I've gone and gotten brain scans and have early signs of CTE, but I love this sport and I wouldn't trade it for anything else. And I'm a fighter, and people will see that, whether it's after Saturday night or whether it's a year from now, that they will see that I'm a fighter. I'm just having fun, and trolling. And I've sort of purposely pitted the MMA community against me. So they tune into this fight. Ta-da, it worked.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.